Okay, welcome everyone. Regular council meeting. We'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories that we inherit with and to take this off. If not, can I get a motion?
Through the chair. I'll make the motion that the agenda be accepted as prepared.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's motion carried. Item 3.1, May 20th, 2025, regular council meeting minutes. Are there any changes or edits? Can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Deputy Mayor,
I move that the May 20th, 2025 regular council meeting be accepted as presented.
all in
Wait.
favor?
Aye.
Minutes. Sorry.
Motion carried. Sorry, thought you're done.
No, that's all right.
I think you just wanted me to say Deputy Mayor.
You're wrong.
All right. Item 4.1, we have a delegation tonight. RCMP quarterly update, Sergeant Ian Patey. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. Honored to be here again. With me, I have a new face. So before I get into my stuff, I'd like to introduce Constable Corey Hall. For those of you guys that may not know, he's the new Crossfield member. I asked him to prepare a PowerPoint for his life and career as RCMP officer, but I see he doesn't have a computer. So how about you just tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Alberta, born and bred. I was born in Calgary, raised mostly in Cold Lake. Grew up, my father was in the armed services. Yeah, I applied to the RCMP 2012, got in 2013, been doing it since. I've been all over the province doing what you could expect, everything from the Fort Mac fires to High River flood, all the way through up until now, Coots border, the whole bit. I've been general duty my whole time, so any type of investigation, you name it, I've pretty much seen it or done it. And 2 years ago, I started doing crisis negotiations for the RCMP as well. So pretty well rounded, and I also live in town, so I know the community pretty well. My wife's also a member, she's in town with me. Yeah, 2 young kids, and that's pretty much me.
Great. So we can expect him to do a better job than his PowerPoint for Crossfield, right?
Yes.
Okay. I can make one for you.
I had the pleasure of supervising Corey when I first got the airdrie on the city, even though he was rural. And I could honestly say you could expect great things. Very happy with him. He was always my go-to guy for presentations for communities. So he very much likes getting involved in the community, and he's not shy. So that's a good thing.
That's great. Well, welcome. We're happy to have you here.
Likewise, yeah.
Okay, I'll get into the fun stuff. So obviously a letter was sent out to mayor and council with regards to wildfires. It's that time of year again. So far I've had to send 2 different members up north to get deployed for the wildfire. One's currently up there, and there was one that was sent up 3 weeks ago, and they've asked for more resources. On top of that, we have G7. So G7 is occurring mid-June. We've already deployed 2 members from airdrie on the rural side. They were pulled over for specialized units. So we're down a couple bodies right now, contending with G7. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that goes well and they don't ask for additional resources. So with regards to the police reporting, so rural crime reduction, with Project Arrow, we've been monitoring 8 subjects in the rural area. So basically subjects who have been released on special conditions. During this period, some of the subjects have been removed and new ones added. So I could happily report that the checks for these subjects have been up in the last quarter. So we did 52 checks during the period, and all were compliant except 1, which resulted in the subject being breached on his conditions. In terms of the airdrie crime reduction unit, They had worked on 5 files in the rural areas with multiple charges laid and almost $200,000 in recovered property. We have a prolific offender from thefts at Cross Iron Malls. One of the files they worked on, surveillance was established, and they worked with CPS to identify prolific offender and result in numerous charges. Arrest of a female in a stolen vehicle, charges laid and $35,000 stolen property recovered. Cross Iron keeps us busy, so more thefts and commercial business break-ins. Prolific offenders arrested in a stolen vehicle and $20,000 property recovered. And then we had surveillance on commercial business prolific offender. I think I kind of mentioned that at the last meeting that we attended. They were linked to over 15 break and enters and thefts in southern Alberta, and we assisted Calgary Police in locating the subject, and $140,000 in stolen property was recovered. Community engagement. Scott was busy during January, February, March, involved in his regular, I guess, community events. This is where I usually ask Scott to explain all that, but in Scott's absence, he had reading days at the primary school and delivered a 1-hour presentation to the high school regarding online bullying and online safety at their request. As they report, this is becoming more of an issue. Constable McGinney issued Do Good in the Hood positive tickets, attended the Rodeo Association Gala Dinner, and assisted with Craft Hockeyville events this quarter. And then there was a breakdown in the report with regards to patrols, school visits, and violation tickets that were issued. So with regards to road safety, visibility in communities has increased with regards to road safety initiatives, with 147 violation tickets or warnings being issued. There were 20 impaired driving related investigations, with 12 of those investigations resulting in impaired driving sanctions or suspension. And the integrated traffic unit was also operating in the area, and they conducted 8 impaired driving related investigations, and 3 of those resulted in impaired sanctions or suspension.
And so that's across the region, not necessarily just for Crossfield?
Yes, across the region.
Okay.
For the integrated traffic unit. There was a number of meetings with stakeholders. We had several meetings with Russ with regards to the Crossfield member, and some discussions with regards to possibly switching him out, which we did. In terms of vacancies, of the 16 established positions, 15 officers are currently working. There's 1 officer on leave without pay, and the position has been backfilled to ensure coverage. There are 2 additional positions with 2 officers assigned to each position. There's 1 hard vacancy at this time. To get into the more meaningful stuff, I know you guys get presented with the crime stats, and as great as what they are, I try to have a review of the files to make them a little bit more meaningful. So in my review of the files, as noted, there was a robbery that was documented. So this involved some kids at the high school had actually jumped another kid and assaulted him and stole his cell phone. With regards to the 9 assaults, some of the more notable ones, I guess there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 domestic violence related assaults. 1 resulted in a conviction of adult assault, and the subject got 59 days in jail. 1 is still pending before the courts. Another 1, Crown declined charges as the victim was uncooperative and wouldn't write a statement. 1 of the other domestic violence assaults was withdrawn and was settled on a peace bond. And 2 other assaults occurred. 1 was a Rage Road assault where someone was pulled out of a vehicle. When police attended, I guess, complainant victim didn't wish to proceed with the assault, but the SOC was done for impaired driving. And then there was one other domestic violence, or sorry, other assault involving a parent hitting a child, and that is still before the courts. With regards to theft unders, there was 6 reported. We have 1, 2, 3 reports of car prowlings where subject or items were stolen out of vehicles. In one of those, members arrived on scene. They were able to locate the subjects in a stolen vehicle. That vehicle fled. Later resulted in a rollover in Airdrie, and they escaped from that, and they stole another vehicle. So they were, yeah, they were never identified, unfortunately. There was a theft of mail, and there was an Amazon package that was delivered to the wrong door, which resulted in the subject who received it not being cooperative, but when police got involved, it was resolved. With regards to mischiefs, we had several vandalisms to vehicles. There was 2 smashed vehicle windows, 4 attempted thefts. There were subjects that were trying vehicle doors, and there was a call for loud music. With regards to the frauds, we have a check fraud at the bank. We had a TELUS phone scam where the victim provided the credit card information and lost $500. We had a Facebook Marketplace vehicle scam sale, I guess. The complainant unfortunately ended up sending 2 e-transfers before they realized it was a scam, so they fell victim to $2,000 loss. There was a Bitcoin fraud, so that subject was contacted through social media and they lost $5,000. And there was attempted fraud from a business for $350,000 US. A wire transfer was sent for oil field equipment, and luckily they called police because something didn't seem right, and they were able to stop the wire transfer before it ended up where it was supposed to be going. That's about it for the crime stats. I know we all had the pleasure on May the 8th to participate in Disaster Day in Rocky View County. I think it was a great learning opportunity for all of us. The only thing I request is that in the future you give Russ a more speaking role. I know he mentioned he'd really like that. And for upcoming events, June 14th is going to be a busy weekend for us. I know you guys have a parade and rodeo planned, and fortunately for us, so does Bisker. So we might be a little thin. I'm going to...
Bicer called. They said they're good. They don't need you guys.
No? Okay, I'll note that. So I'm going to look for some overtime to make sure we have enough bodies around. So I think you guys will have Crossfield under control, but we'll definitely have Corey out and have our other guys in town for sure. But just to let you know, both communities are having events that weekend. Any questions or comments?
Any questions?
Through the chair.
Councillor Vane?
Just on the subject of files, how many active files are there actually for Crossfield?
So for this quarter,
Just in general.
I wouldn't be able to give you an exact number because when I ran my searches today, I looked up these specific offenses. Usually I run the whole quarter, but today I was tight on time, so I didn't. And I can't even give you a ballpark. I mean, I can get back to you with that information for sure. I could send it to Ross and he could send it out to you guys, but
Okay.
and to ask Corey would not be fair, seeing he only got over May 21st. I know he's been busy since he's been in here, so but yeah, I could get that number for sure. Just to give you an idea.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I had a similar question, not on active files, but how many of those prolific offenders are in Crossfield?
For Project Arrow,
Yeah.
yeah, the ones that we're doing.
And how many are you checking on, I guess?
Project Arrow, 2 off the top of my head are in Crossfield. Yeah. And the one I know for sure has been on there for, well, I've been here for a year and a half. He's been on there for a year and a half.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you for your time and welcome. We'll see you around.
You betcha, yeah, and if any of you guys ever need anything, don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah, we'll have you on speed dial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'll get that information. I'll send it to you. And
I'm in the diaper stage with kids, so quick.
So you're awake anyway.
Exactly, yes. 5 a.m. every day.
Yes.
thanks so much, everyone.
All right,
Have a
thank
good
you.
night.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Deputy Mayor.
I move that the RCMP Q4 quarterly update be accepted as presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That's motion carried. Thank you. Okay, on to 5.1, actions and decisions, appointment of subdivision and development appeal board, SDAB members, Lindsay Nash, manager of legislative and administrative services.
Good evening, Council. I'm here to request Council's consideration for the appointment of 2 new members to the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board to complete the requirements of the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board Bylaw 2024-05. Under Section 4.1 of the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board Bylaw, the board shall be comprised of 5 members, including residents as members at large and 1 councillor. The town has received 2 applications from residents to sit on the board, and there are currently 3 residents at large actively on the board plus 1 councillor. With adding the 2 new members, this will fulfill the board requirements, making the SDAB board complete. Administration is recommending the appointment of Curtis Christensen and Ken Teal to the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board for a 3-year term effective May 15th, 2025. And both Ken and Curtis are here should council have any questions for them.
Good, thank you. Does anybody have questions?
Sure. More of
Councilor
a
Ring?
comment than anything. I know both Ken and Curtis, and I think that both of them have a great deal of knowledge that they could bring that would benefit the board.
Thank you. Questions?
Yes, through the chair. Can we please have them come up to the table? I do have a question for Curtis. Okay, Curtis, I was just going through your application, and on page 1 and 2, you didn't mark anything that would give us a little bit of indication as to what assets you would bring to the board, like your strengths and your skills.
Thinking that I might have overlooked that, or maybe I wasn't thorough with the, but strengths and assets. In the past, I've been sat on the chamber for 4 years, as you know. I have been a part of parliamentary proceedings like you guys have in council here and stuff like that, and sat on multiple boards for well over 20 years. I'm spending a lot of time training in communication. I've got a lot of experience in communication, and I work with really big companies in the city, and I have to deal with people in large groups and employees on a regular basis. And I also have training in emergency operations as a information officer, and I spent 7 years with the Crossfield Fire Department. So I've spent a lot of time in teams with different types of people and different types of characters, and I think I'm a critical thinker, and I know how to work with different types of people, hard people, easy people, good people to get along with. So that's part of what I bring, I guess.
Thank you.
That's a good answer.
Anyone else? Yeah, I just have one question because your forms that you hand in don't really speak to it, but and this is for both of you. Do you guys have any experience with land use and bylaw and policy and that type of thing?
Land use.
Yeah, development, other land use in, I guess, correlation with the MGA.
Coming from the building trade center, but the zoning and land use was already, I never really had.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, no problem.
As far as the portion that we will be concerned with town here, not so much. But I've dealt a lot with commercial construction and codes and all the kinds of things that we have to do with that. And actually, on a daily basis, I manage. I actually am the ghost manager for a person who manages a condo corporation. And I actually have to go through bylaws once a week. And so I'm very familiar with understanding bylaws, how to find bylaws, how to bring them up, and that kind of thing. So I'm not adverse to that kind of thing. So it just depends on what type of environment I can get into with a little bit of time. It's no problem at all.
Great.
So-
Thank you.
As far as building codes go, that's correct. But bylaws themselves, that would
Okay. Great. Thank you. Any other questions?
Through the chair, but that would make you, knowing your codes would make you cognizant of rules and regulations that had to be followed rather than,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that's what a land use bylaw is all about, is the rules and regulations for, so being familiar with building codes would make you familiar with rules.
lots of them.
Yeah.
And I guess I have one last question, and I think it, just like we on council, and I think on all of our boards, I think the expectation is to be able to make fair and equitable decisions with the information that you're given and do what's the best thing for the town and according to any rules and regulations that are out there. And obviously, I may not have to ask this question, but do you guys think that that is a role that you can play?
Absolutely. That's one reason why we vote now. Town across the board. And I think the question we all have to ask ourselves is, what do we see in Crossfield and how do we want to promote with our development?
Since 2007, I've worked with a lot of council members and with people in council. And you can see some of my work up there. I've done a lot of photography for the town and stuff. And even when a lot of the residents have been critical of past administrations or the past administrations have made large mistakes, I have always supported the town because of the work that you guys do and the fact that sometimes it is a thankless job and sometimes people don't understand the work that we do here to maintain a town or run a town. So I think I've always been supportive of the town. I can continue to do so in a fair manner.
Great, thank you. That's all the questions I had. If that's all for questions, then thank you for your time. We appreciate you guys submitting applications and wanting to be part of a town board and, you know, doing good things for Crossfield.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
for the opportunity.
We're free to go.
Yes. Okay, any further discussion? If not, I'll have somebody make a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Councillor Knight,
I motion the council appoint Curtis Christensen and Ken Teal to the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board for a 3-year term effective May 15th, 2025.
okay, all in favor? That's motion carried. Thank you, Lindsay. On to item 6, councillor's business. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I continue to do my CEO weekly meetings with Kinza. I attended grad and was honored to give a speech to the grad class. Pretty unique class. I think that they have a lot of talent and they're on to really great things. And talk about a class over the last 5 years or so that is going to a lot of different universities that I've seen in a while, like out of country, across the country, everywhere. And it was the largest class of 65 in history, I think, at WG Murdoch. So that was pretty neat. Pretty neat to see. I also helped create a letter to MLAs across the province on behalf of the Mayor's Caucus, letting them know about the Mayor's Caucus and what we're about, and encouraging them to reach out to us and touch base, to ask questions, and to help support us in our cause with the province to gain that additional funding for mid-sized towns. I attended I went to Olds and I attended the town hall that Premier Smith was at with Nathan Cooper and the candidate for the UCP, Tara Sawyer, just to see what that was all about and hear what the Premier had to say. And that was good. And then this Saturday, I was invited to Crossfield Minor Soccer inaugural practice for the Tiny Thunders. There were mostly 3-year-olds. There was 20 of them out there ripping around the field. And they crowned me mayor of Thunderville, which I was quite happy to wear the t-shirt. It's quite funny. I spoke at the Women in Business event, and I will be attending the Women's Elected Officials event on Friday and Sunday for towns under 10,000. Deputy Mayor.
I actually have nothing to report, but I hope to see that T-shirt sometime.
Yeah, I'll wear it. Councillor Fox.
It's hard to follow. I have Heat Night Days coming up next weekend.
Councillor Gustafson.
Nothing further to report.
Councillor Knight.
As the chairman of the Mountain View Water Commission, I stay in touch with our CAO every 2 to 3 days. We have seen a few more leaks between here and Holes, so a little disheartening, but they've been small minor repairs with 7 leaks overall, so hopefully we get out of this leaking section right now. It's been kind of, for the last 6 weeks, continuous leaks between Holes and pretty much Didsbury, so our next monthly meeting is next Wednesday, so nothing else other than that.
Thank you. Councillor Lambert.
Nothing to report.
Councillor Vang.
Nothing to report.
All right. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair. I'll make the
Councillor
motion
Fox.
Sorry. I'll make the motion that council reports be accepted.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
So motion carried. Thank you. Item 7.1, administrative update, monthly update, Russ Nash, Director of Community and Protective Services. Look at that, Steve's here, but he's getting off the hook again. What's up with that?
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Good evening, Council. Yes, I'm here to present the monthly administrative update for administration. I'll go through and highlight some of the areas within the report. And if there are questions, we're here to answer anything for you. So with Public Works and Infrastructure, F3 Networks and AFL started construction of the high-speed TELUS fiber optic network in the Harrison Street area. And line painting, pothole patching, crack sealing, gravel road maintenance, and other warm weather road operations and maintenance activities are underway. Operations crews will be managing road closures during the Pete Night Days Parade on June 14th, coming up next weekend. For planning and development, the town has received 71 development permit applications, including 46 applications for new homes. Upcoming, the MDP is planned to return to council on June 17th for a public hearing. Under public safety, interviews for the vacant fire chief and community peace officer positions have been ongoing. Bear Integrated Solutions has started on the community risk assessment for the fire department. And as Sergeant Patey had noted, administration also participated in a functional exercise, emergency exercise on May 8th, along with Rocky View County and the Village of Bicycle. The exercise was successful with a lot of learning for our staff, and a follow-up report will be forthcoming from the consultants who helped us out with that. Upcoming, the new fire truck is anticipated to arrive within the first 2 weeks of June here, so we'll keep you up to date as to when that does arrive. Customer service and community engagement, the website has been updated to include a page dedicated to the continuing momentum of Hockeyville for the Pete Knight Arena upgrades. There has been a delay with the launch of the eGov platform due to changes with the Moneris integration. Catalyst and Moneris are working on a solution, and we anticipate a soft launch for the first part of June with the public launch for the middle of June. With the front counter, we've had 325 interactions, and we have seen an increase in the walk-in interactions from 121 in April up to 147 in May, as of May 28th, there was 147 walk-in interactions. Under community services and events, this is just a little plug for, we do have some discounted passes for Callaway Park that are available at the town office for residents to purchase through the summer months. At the Splash Park, I'm sure we've noticed that we had to make a repair under the concrete slab. We had a line that broke. It is scheduled to be repaired tomorrow and should be ready to go by the weekend. So that's keeping our fingers crossed and hoping everything lines up really well there. Upcoming, we do have our pancake breakfast coming up for Pete Knight Days, which will be held here at the Community Hall on Friday, June 13th. The new score clock at the arena is set to be installed actually next week, so that should be ready to go for the upcoming hockey season and for the remaining part of the lacrosse season. Upgrades to the Amory Park outdoor rink are set to begin in June as well and are expected to take about a month to complete. We will be putting out a notice to the public just to let everybody know that that facility will be down for a month while those upgrades are being completed. And a request for proposal will be issued for design of the pump track in Murdoch Park. Under administrative services, with the approval of the blade sign policy, administration has been working on sending letters out to side street businesses, providing them information on the program. 1,954 tax notices were mailed and 98 were emailed on May 7th. Administration worked hard to ensure notices were sent out earlier than in previous years to avoid any delays any delays associated with potential postal strike, or which I believe is on. There is a strike, is there not?
There is, but they're kind of working through it,
Okay.
if that makes
Okay,
sense.
good.
Not
First rule.
Kind of.
Anyway, they were sent out prior to that strike occurring, so that we ensured that they got out. Property taxes are due on June 30th at 4:30 p.m. Administration met with CAOs and CFOs from Sundre and Drayton Valley to discuss the funding pressure experienced by mid-sized towns and a potential funding model for future provincial grant funding. And upcoming, the budget survey will close for public input on June 9th at 4:30 p.m. Administration will bring a What We Heard report to council to share the results of the survey. And that's it for the report. We're here for questions if there are.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Director Nash?
To the chair.
Councillor Knight?
I don't have a question, but just noticed over the past couple of weeks, the staff that's paint lines, crosswalks, and handicap stalls. Just wanted to thank them for the work, keep the community looking nice and tidy. That's all.
Excellent.
Yeah, any other questions? I'm just curious, there's that one fire hydrant in front of my pet needs,
Okay.
and it's not painted. I think people continue to park there, and sometimes they get ticketed. I wonder if painting a line there would be helpful.
To the
There's
mayor,
a handicap part,
yeah.
or not a handicap, but a fire hydrant right in front of my pet needs. And there's a sign, or the fire hydrant, but no
The curb
painting
hasn't
on the
been
curb.
painted? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, We'll bring that up to the operations crew.
Okay, great. I think it'd be an easy fix for kind of an ongoing problem. I guess my only other question would be, there's a couple of residents up that same road that have no parking handicap signs
Mhm.
out front. Are those the town signs or those the resident signs? I'm seeing a head nod. Lindsay, if you
I'm gonna have
you
to
can
defer
answer
that
the
one.
question.
Mayor Harris, yes, those would be the town signs. They have to apply to the town in order to put those signs up. And
Excellent.
then, yeah, and they have to provide proof of requiring the sign before we'll install it.
That's great. Thank you for that. That's all I had. Thank you. All right. If there's no other questions, we'd like to make a motion.
Through the chair,
Councillor Lambert.
I'll make the motion that the administrative monthly update be accepted as presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Outstanding items list, item 7.2, CAO Barney.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. No significant adjustments, but there is one item that we would request removal of from the outstanding action list. It's item 062, being the Amory Park Community Garden. The volunteers have been followed up with. We've received 6 people that are interested in forming a committee. The new rental applications have been drafted and public advertisement has gone out with notice of the plots for rent. So we're hoping to catch more attention that way. And we continue to complete and to require maintenance, including the weed control and fixing some of the broken boxes. So we would request removal of that item from the list.
Thank you. Questions for CAO Barney? Okay, no questions. We'd like to make a motion.
Through the chair,
Councillor Knight,
a motion that item 062 be removed from the outstanding items list.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we have a closed session. Item 8.1.
Through the chair. I'm going to remove myself from the meeting due to conflict of interest.
Okay, see ya. We'll see if we remember to bring you back in.
Thank you. And I don't have my phone.
All right, 8.1, Rodeo Society Land Lease Agreement. There's disclosure harmful to business interests of third party under FOIP Section 16, 1, and advice form officials 24-1. If I can get a motion to go into camera, please.
Through the chair,
Councillor Lambert.
I'll make the motion that council enter in camera at 7:39.
7:39, yeah. Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
That's motion carried. Thank you. statement and motion? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so we're out of closed session. It was regarding the rodeo agreement. Since 1983, the town of Crossfield and Crossfield Rodeo Society have collaborated on a management and use of rodeo grounds. In 2024, Town Council approved a new town facilities and land lease policy, prompting a revised agreement that aligns with this policy. The agreement is being brought forward to Council's review and consideration due to the magnitude of the lease with respect to the existing land improvements. The revised agreement retains the core elements of previous versions but provides greater clarity and policy compliance. The Society has consistently maintained the grounds and met insurance obligations, while the town continues to benefit from a positive cooperative relationship with the Society, ensuring low-cost operations and community use of the facilities. Now I'll open it up to Council for any comments or discussion.
Through the chair.
Deputy Mayor.
I just want to say that I think the Rodeo Society offers a lot to the space. They've been good stewards of the land for many years now and great partners with the town, like Mayor said. I think this is good for us to have this renewed and updated. I think there was some long overdue changes. And I'm excited for the Pete Night Days rodeo this year. That's it for me.
Yep, thank you. Anyone else? No. Okay. If there's no other discussion or comments, can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Councillor Lambert.
I'll make the motion that council approve the Crossville Rodeo Society land lease agreement for a 5-year term effective June 1st, 2025 to May 31st, 2030. As amended under sections 210 and 11.3 as discussed.
Perfect. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? That's motion carried. Thank you. Thanks, Lindsay. And then,
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
okay, motion to adjourn. Thank you. All in favor?
No vote.
No vote.
No vote.
All right, that's